What's up, guys? This is going to be the weekly Bet Recap episode number 2. We had 3 events up for betting this past weekend. First up was Cage Warriors on Friday, followed up by Combate, and then we had Bellator on Saturday. We did have some plays, guys, so basically I'll just go over how we did. Coming off of last week, we had 4.85 in the profit, so we'll see if we could build off of that. Now on the first card here, guys, we had Nathias Frederick as the main play at 3-1. He was taking on James Webb for the title in Cage Warriors. He didn't get it without some adversity, though, guys. He was held against the cage for majority of the fight by Webb. Was getting off flurries at the beginning of each round, but Webb was just looking to grapple. Did a good job, though, Frederick did, of staying off his back, gassing out Webb, making him, use that wrestling, tiring himself out. And then late in the fight, I believe it was the 5th round, he flurried him with some heavy shots, and the ref had to step in for the TKO. So new champ there in Cage Warriors, guys. Really good cardio. That's one thing I'll say about Frederick. He was able to throw those bombs late in the fight. So impressive there. Also on the card, the heavyweight champ, Modestas Bukauskas. He got the W. His odds weren't great, though. Same with Mads Brunel. Those two had a bit too much respect from the bookies. They did expect for them to get it done, and sure enough, they did. One thing I wanted to talk about quick, guys, Jolton Santos, Alex Lahore was a late play, guys. I had looked at some of the Lahore footage when I was studying for Brazier, and I wasn't overly impressed. I ended up looking into Santos and pulling the trigger late Thursday. Now, I did intend on putting out a last-minute video on Friday, but the event started at noon, and I thought that it actually started at 4, and I would have some time in the afternoon. So in future, what I'll do, guys, to avoid, being burned on getting a play out, I will update the description. Sometimes even during the event, the lines change. So always keep an eye out in future, guys. Like I said, in the description, I will put up any new plays that I see throughout the week or even the day of the event. So that was pretty much it, guys, for this card. Moving on that night, we had Combate. This was mostly just some parlay builders, guys. I just wanted to have a real quick look. Main event, Brazier got it done. Co-main with some low-level women's MMA. Gallardo picked up the W there. The 2 plays that I believe that I gave out at about 1.5 were Kelly Romero and Steve Bollinger. They both hit. And I also had mentioned, I believe, that if you had to pick a 2-fighter parlay, that Romero, as well as Fabian Edwards from the Bellator card, might have been a good option. So those did hit, but you did see why it was risky with Edwards just edging out that win over Shipman with a dominant 3rd round. But if they would have gave that to Shipman, I wouldn't have been mad about it. So too much respect by the bookies for Fabian Edwards there. But again, that parlay did cash if you took it, so congratulations on anybody who did. And that was about it, guys, pretty much for Combate. So we're moving on to the last play of the weekend, guys. That was on the Bellator card, and that was Michael Venom Page, or sorry, not Venom Page. It was Soren Back and Terry Brazier. This kicked off the card, guys. Big entrances by both of them. I was really disappointed in Terry's performance. He rocked him within the first 2 minutes of the fight and just looked at him. He didn't jump on him. If he would have went for the kill with some heavy punches, it was early on in the fight, so he would have had his speed, had the power. If he would have jumped on him, I do believe he could have got the finish there. But as the fight went on, Back was, able to get the takedown at will. And with Terry being the bigger guy, I have seen him use some offensive wrestling in some of his fights. He's definitely not to the level of Back. But I did think because of the fact that he had that size, it would balance it out. But sure enough, Back did come out with the dominant decision. And Brazier was definitely disappointed in himself and frustrated in that fight. So I am going to put him in the boat with with Bobby Green for no bet for right now, guys. Really bad performance there. Can't take away anything from Back, though. He definitely put it on Brazier, got that dominant win. So, good job by him. But I do think Terry needs to go back to the drawing board and really work that takedown defense. I didn't expect that. He didn't even look like he was ready to sprawl. So, something to be aware of there. Fabian Edwards was next up. He did pick up the W, as we talked about, so I won't spend any time on that. And then, of course, Michael Venom Page completely smoked Gianno Melillo. in the main event. Caught Malillo going for a low kick. I believe it was a leg kick, or it could have been to the body. I'm not 100% sure. But as he threw the kick, Page caught him over the top and knocked him out cold. So, another really impressive performance by him. Not overly impressive for profit, guys. It was 0.3 of a unit. We got that 1.5 units profit on the first event. We bet Frederick at 0.75 units, and he was a 3-1 dog. So that netted that 1.5. And then moving on to this event, Terry Brazier, we had 1.2 units on him. So basically our winnings covered that bet, and we only came out 0.3 unit in the green. Still, a winning weekend for the record. So, for that, it wasn't a bad outing, but definitely would like to see more profit. Last weekend being 4.85, a much better weekend. This weekend, not nearly as successful, a lot less exciting. But again, went from 4.85 to 5.15, leading into, this week off is, first time in a long time there hasn't been any fights. I don't think there is even the small promotions this week. No Bellator. Actually, there might be a one championship, and I'm not sure if they'll even put out lines. So for betting this week, guys, it's pretty dead. That'll give me the opportunity to put out a bunch of individual plays as opposed to a full breakdown video. There are a few options out there, guys, so I will be dropping those throughout the week. Also, there'll be a strategies video. So, there will be videos this week, guys, and look out for those individual plays. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. You'll be able to get to the lines right away when I drop those videos. And people have in the past been able to get the same value that I had. Now, Terry Brazier was a little bit harder this week. I did hear from a lot of people his lines tanked, around the time I put out this video. Now, I don't think this channel yet has the ability to move the lines unless I've caught the eyes of some, bigger spenders. But for the time being, I think that most people have been able to get the value on the picks that I've been putting out. So we'll continue that on, most likely with the individual videos, right, or individual plays. That way, they can come out a bit early and you guys can get the most value out of it. All right, guys, so that'll be it. I'll wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.